Ladies and gentlemen, Los Angeles County Health Department head Barbara Ferrer. This little gem was just recently recorded on a conference call with other county officials declaring that LA County schools, it was obvious, were not going back until after the election because of CV. After all, we all know that the CV is a political virus. But to quote the Fox News article, Los Angeles County Public Health Director Dr. Barbara Ferrer was recorded saying the country's largest county would not reopen its schools until, quote, after the election. But there's more to Barbara that I want you to know. In fact, there's a commonality that I'm seeing every time a story pops up about the CV and somebody holding back or refusing to allow progress in the opening. And no, I'm not talking about the fact that they all creepily look like some kind of combination of a Beetlejuice character and something out of the Dark Crystal. That's not what I'm talking about. It's background and education. I found an article that just goes over briefly the background of which I speak. At frontpagemag.com, Barbara Ferrer, social welfare queen of Los Angeles County. This is on May 20, 2020. What a gem. I think we all have to recognize that we are not moving beyond the CV Los Angeles Mayor Eric Garcetti announced last week. We are learning to live with it. We've never been fully closed. We'll never be completely open until we have a cure. Mayor Garcetti did not indicate when the cure might be forthcoming, but he was rather certain about the continued lockdown. Embattled residents of Los Angeles might wonder who is calling the shots during the pandemic. The Los Angeles County Public Health Director is Dr. Barbara Ferrer, but local residents expecting a virologist, molecular biologist, or epidemiologist at the helm would be disappointed. Many were surprised to learn that, unlike her predecessor, Dr. Jonathan Fielding, Dr. Ferrer is not even a medical doctor. Ferrer earned her doctorate in social welfare, which might draw a blank from someone with a PhD in physics, mathematics, or history. Ferrer earned her PhD at Brandeis, which is sketchy, on the course of study for social welfare. On the other hand, graduate Frida Kapoor-Klein touts hidden bias, diversity, and inclusion. University of North Carolina professor Laverne Reed speaks of health inequities, and Michael Levine, Chief Knowledge Officer of the Sesame Workshop, hails social justice policymaking. Still, there may be more to it. Social welfare doctoral program at UC Berkeley, quote, is designed to inspire independence and originality of thought in pursuit of knowledge. The social welfare program develops scholars who make significant contributions to social work and social welfare teaching, research, policy development and analysis, and administration, and address a wide range of contemporary societal problems. Social welfare, Dr. Barbara Ferrer did not study at Berkeley, but before her master's in public health at Boston University, she earned a BA in community studies at UC Santa Cruz. Community studies, the university explains, dates from 1969 and was, quote, a pioneer in addressing principles of social justice, specifically inequities arising from race, class, and gender dynamics in society. Students in the program spend 6 months participating in and analyzing the work of a social justice organization, and graduates have been placed in food justice organizations, immigrant rights centers, homeless resource and support groups, queer and transgender organizations, and other groups, all pursuing a social justice mission. The background got Ferrer hailed as a public health hero who, with her partners, developed a blueprint for eliminating racial and ethnic disparities, which would immediately enact change, beginning with the way research data was collected and received about health and morbidity to represent racial, ethnic, and language differences. That does not amount to medical science, but for Barbara Ferrer, it didn't matter. With her MPH and doctorate in social welfare, Ferrer duly became health commissioner for Boston, then the chief strategy officer for the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, which supports children and families as they strengthen and create conditions that propel vulnerable children to achieve success as individuals and as contributors to the larger community and society. Gee, I wonder what we would find if we went digging at the W.K. Kellogg Foundation. In 2017, Ferrer made the move west to Los Angeles County, home to 10 million residents, approximately the population of Sweden. Supervisor Mark Ridley Thomas pronounced Ferrer uniquely qualified to lead and serve Los Angeles County's diverse populations, and the county granted her an annual salary of $376,635 a year. 3 years later, Ferrer pulls down a cool $465,411, more than the official salary of the President of the United States, which he donates. As the coronavirus pandemic unfolded and Garcetti locked down Los Angeles, it emerged that Ferrer was not a medical doctor. When some questioned her qualifications, Ferrer pushed back. "This is a tough job for anybody to have to do," Ferrer told reporters. "The one thing I do want to note is I don't make decisions by myself. I have an amazing team of public health practitioners. As residents might have noted, it's not Los Angeles County that has the amazing team, but Barbara Ferrer, her own self. The unelected health boss clearly has a sense of her own power." Last week, after Dr. Anthony Fauci argued for keeping the lockdown in place, Ferrer announced that absent dramatic change to the virus, the county would continue its shutdown for the next 3 months. Mayor Garcetti chimed in with longer than 3 months, followed by the proclamation that Los Angeles would never be completely open until we have a cure. That was the position of California Governor Gavin Newsom, who said on May 7 that California would not return to normal until a vaccine for CV was discovered. As many in California and across the country have noted, that marks a steep escalation from flattening the curve. Los Angeles County Health boss Barbara Ferrer is good with the lockdown, and the $465,611 a year social welfare queen does not appear disturbed by the millions now out of work, the countless businesses going bust, and the students missing school. Barbara Ferrer is not a medical doctor, but she boasts a background in the non-disciplines of community studies and social welfare. That makes Barbara Ferrer the ideal choice for politicians eager to exploit a pandemic for political ends, even if it deprives the people of their most basic rights. I think the health commissioner should probably be a doctor. Seems like one of those common sense things that people miss. So I can't put the recording of her saying it on the radio show in full context, but I can damn sure play a few seconds of it so that you can hear it for yourself. Hold on a second.
So we don't realistically anticipate that we would be moving to either Tier 2 or to reopening K through 12 schools at least until after the election, in early November. Like when we just look at the timing of everything, it seems to us a more realistic approach to this would be to think that we're going to be where we are now until we are done with the elections.
I have the recording in the context of the entire radio talk show linked to my BitChute account. It's in the pinned comment below. You guys go down there and check it out and subscribe to my BitChute account while you're there. But of course, even if your health secretary happens to have a medical background, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to make the right decisions whenever something like the CV comes about. We did an episode about this person, Rachel Levine, the Pennsylvania health secretary. You'll remember, she's one of the people who ordered CV patients into nursing homes, but she moved her mom out of the nursing homes on the very day of the order. Remember that?
611 of the state's 3,806 COVID-19 deaths, or nearly 70%, have occurred in nursing homes or long-term care facilities. The state now ordering mass testing.
By testing every resident and every staff member in every nursing home, we will be able to pinpoint exactly who has COVID-19, who has been exposed but no symptoms, and cohort positive cases to prevent further spread.
While Levine beefs up rules and oversight for those who stay in, we've learned her own mother recently got out of a personal care home.
My mother requested, and my sister and I, as her children, complied to move her to another location during the COVID-19 outbreak. My mother is 95 years old. She is very intelligent and more than competent to make her own decision.
Yeah, so that happened. There's a million different ways to spot a subversive person or a subverter or a subvertive agent or whatever you want to call them. But my favorite is rules for me but not for thee, because you will catch somebody, if they're a subversive person, you will catch them doing something that they speak out against every time, very easily. But anyways, guys, I wanted to touch on this. Health and Human Services in LA County saying that they're not going to open schools until after the elections. This is all part of, I hate to bring it back, you know I'm going to do it, the Transition Integrity Project. That's right. And it's all a plan to make things as miserable as possible until the election. I've got another episode coming up on TIP, and I'm going to go through it in kind of a slideshow kind of way, because I need to highlight the stuff because it's a predictive thing. Everything that's in there, they're going to try to make it happen. So anyways, guys, it's late. I'll talk to y'all later. Like, share, sub the channel. Peace.